All right, good to have you back. We're going to read more in the introduction of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Thanks for joining me. Glad you're here. All right, it says at this point, the already slowing pace of publication ground to a complete halt. As a result of the Six-Day War of June 1967, the Palestine Archaeological Museum, where the scroll fragments were stored, had become the property of the State of Israel. The members of the Scrolls publication team, most of whom held decidedly pro Arab convictions, were reluctant to continue under Israeli auspices, even after the authorities assured them that they could continue their work without interference. Eventually, the Israelis and the team worked out an arrangement, and the team published DJD 6, containing a number of minor texts in 1977. By this time, however, the scholarly community was growing increasingly unhappy with the official Scrolls team. The scrolls that had already been published had revolutionized the study of the Bible, early Judaism, and early Christianity. The thought that hundreds of texts, more than half of what had been found, had never been seen outside a small circle of privileged editors was maddening. The academic scandal of the century, in the words of Britain's Geza Vermes. Now, people were starting to get upset and they were saying, why are you uh, making publications that aren't truly authentic? Why are you printing Bibles and why are you printing these holy books without all of the material in them? Hmm. Let's keep reading. It says, in fact, after a modus operandi had been reached with Israel, there was no good reason why the rest of the text could not be published rapidly. The team had finished most of the initial work of reconstruction by 1960, but they had come to feel that a simple publication was no longer enough. The scrolls had become an entire subdiscipline of ancient history, and a proper publication now had to include vast analysis, large syntheses, and detailed assessments, placing every fragment in its place in the history of Judaism, Christianity, and humankind. This was a daunting task for a large team. For a small team, it was simply impossible. And although the team had slowly begun to increase its size, taking on a few Israeli members and select graduate students, those who had studied with team members, in the 1980s, it still refused to allow other scholars access to the text. In academia, of course, knowledge is power, and the Scrolls editors enjoyed theirs immensely. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, complaints about the slow pace of publication snowballed. Team members continued to publish individual texts from time to time, but control of the process always remained in their hands. I hope you are paying close attention to the things that I am reading out of this book, for they are the things that have made certain religions the way that they are. They have caused other people to adopt ways that are not the true ways of the Creator. And they have taught these ways to other people for generations on end. And it's time we know the truth. Let's get illuminated. Let's get elevated. Let's go higher in our understanding. Let's go higher in our state of consciousness. Let's read more. All right. Hallelujah. Even when a text was published, it seemed like noblesse oblige, and the perceived arrogance behind the slow pace of publication acted as a catalyst, goading outsiders to work toward achieving unfettered access. New obstacles to publication had arisen as well. Several members of the original team had died, and others were battling poor health, which gives way to more human error. Finally, in the 1990s, the monopoly of the official team was broken, both from within and from without. In 1990, John Strugno, head of the Scrolls team since 1987, was forced to resign, by the Israeli Antiquities Authority for derogatory comments he made about Judaism. The authority put Israeli scholars in charge of the project, and they began to invite more scholars to join the team, intending to speed up the pace of publication. But outside forces played the decisive role. The official team had compiled a concordance, a comprehensive word list that also provides the text in which each word listed occurs, of all the words of the unreleased text. The team had always limited use of the concordance to themselves, but before Strugnell's departure, he allowed certain academic libraries to receive copies of the concordance. Since the concordance listed each word along with one or two on either side of it, theoretically one might reconstruct not only entire lines but entire strolls or scrolls. I just read that and it said, theoretically one might reconstruct not only entire lines but entire scrolls. As a person that has been devoted to the Bible for a very long time, reading things like this was very perturbing to me. I devoted my life to the scripture as though it were the words of the Creator itself, and indeed some of them were. Had I not connected to the Creator on a deeper, more intense level, then I would not have known the things that I know. Our Bible has been tampered with, y'all. And it's up to us to find out the truth. It's up to us to take the truth from the Bible and the truth from the revelatory knowledge that has been given to us through time spent in the supernatural. This is the only way that we will find the truth. A graduate student at Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati, Martin Abegg, with his advisor Ben Zion Watcholder, put the theory into practice. He carried out the reconstruction with the aid of a desktop computer, and the first volume of hitherto unreleased scrolls was published in September 1991. The publication was a bombshell, and it triggered another. Later, the library in Southern California, William Moffett, announced that the library had in its possession photographs of all the unreleased Dead Sea Scrolls, and that the scholars would be allowed full access to them. These twin attacks on the monopoly of the scrolls team proved decisive. After initially threatening legal action in November 1991, the new editor-in-chief of the official team, Emanuel Tov, announced that all scholars would have free and unconditional access to all the photographs of the Dead Sea Scrolls. This victory over scholarly secrecy and possessiveness made the book you hold in your hand, which is this one, possible. All right. So we're going to come back to you another time and we're going to read more in the introduction. It's entitled How the Dead Sea Scrolls Were Written. You know, I know you're excited to know, as I'm excited to share it with you. If you love someone, you would really want to give them what is most special to you. The thing most special to me is truth. And that is what I desire to give you, because I am privileged to have it given to me. I love you on today. Be hopeful and walk in the design in which the Creator designed you in. There's no other way to fulfill your purpose. I want you to be well on today. I'll see you later.